Boom. Okay, we are live. Good morning. Hello. Namaste. Um, I heard from a mama this week about some glute stuff showing up. And thank you for sharing that with me. And so I wanted to focus this class on glute stuff. For some of us, that glute stuff can show up as low back pain. Others, it's like a stab in the butt cheek. It's very uncomfortable when it shows up, and I think the world around us, people who have not been pregnant before, kind of underestimate how much pain can be endured by a pregnant person in their butt during pregnancy or low back. So let's work on that. It can also be super helpful for any mamas who are in that early postpartum phase, who have that low back pain and that associated glute pain. We're going to both switch on the glutes as well as kind of relieve a couple of the main muscles that can get a little bit contracted and tight, which cause some of those like sciatica type of symptoms. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, and I wanted to share the card I pulled for the group today, which is that my breasts are abundant in milk. So that's what I pulled for you today, and I hope you can feel that and know that and believe that, regardless of where you're at in your pregnancy, or what experiences you've had perhaps with your previous babies with regards to breastfeeding. What I know and what I've experienced is that every single baby you have, your breastfeeding experience is different. The baby is different and your body is different. So you're just going to have a different experience. I heard an incredible story the other day of a baby that was born, I think it was 34 or 35 weeks. So, pretty early. And he was sucking milk within the hour, I think, of being born, which I was just blown away by. That, wow, a tiny, tiny thing who was still only, I think he was only 4 pounds, maybe 5 at the most, was able to latch and be taking milk on its own within an hour of being born. And that was really all due to the fact that the nurses and the NICU staff were supportive of the mother holding the baby for the first couple of hours and not letting the baby be taken away straight away, which often happens with a preemie baby, right? They want to go and put them in their special NICU situation. So in this case, they let mama hold the baby for those first couple of hours while the nurses and the doctors kind of stood by and observed, and the baby was able to latch and start nursing, which is it's just incredible. These little humans are incredible. I think we underestimate them sometimes. So let's get started. Please come into, if you've been sitting, can you change the cross the way you're crossing your legs, or change the position that you're sitting in, and just start to ground into your cushion or the floor. Feel where your sits bones are connected. Maybe feel for where there's some of those aches and pains that are kind of like, maybe there's that clamping that happens every once in a while, or just the dull ache in the low back. Just be aware of it. Let's not obsess over it, but let's just keep it in our awareness. And as you close your eyes, can you start to send your attention and your breath to that place in your body that is asking for attention? Breathing in through your nose all the way into those nooks and crannies that say, hey, I want all your love right now. Just send your breath there, feeling your whole body breathe. Exhale through your mouth. You can sigh. And breathe light in through your nose, and send that light, send that breath, send that prana down to that place that needs your attention. And if there's nowhere in your butt or your glutes or your low back that wants attention, send that into your heart, send it into your belly, send it to baby. Out through the mouth, please. Inhaling through the nose. Out through the mouth. One more time. Now we're going to do alternate nostril breathing next, and that's a practice that I wanted to introduce to mamas who haven't done it with me before. There's a mama in the community that's had some lightheadedness and pounding in the head, which to me sometimes is associated with some blood pressure issues and fluctuations. So alternate nostril breathing is a practice that can help to really regulate the blood pressure. So let's do it, and I want you to just feel for yourself how it makes you feel. If you need to change the crossing of your legs, then do that, please, and make yourself comfortable again. And then rest your left hand in your lap, bring your right hand out in front of your face. I'll come a little closer so that you can see what's up. You can see what I'm doing. So I'm resting my left hand in my lap. I'm going to put my index finger and middle finger between my eyebrows and just press on that lovely acupressure point there that signals to your nervous system that you can relax. And then we're going to put the thumb over the right nostril and inhale through the left nostril deeply. And then you're going to cover the left nostril with your ring finger and exhale through the right nostril. Inhale, right nostril, until you're completely full and your belly feels full, and then cover the right nostril and exhale through the left. That's one round. Inhale, left nostril. Close that nostril, exhale, right. Inhale, right. Cover that right nostril with your thumb, exhale, left. 2 rounds. We're doing 3 more. Inhale, left. Cover that nostril, exhale, right. Inhale, right nostril. Cover, exhale, left. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Cover, exhale, left. Last round, inhaling left. You're on your own here, mama. You're finishing with exhaling on the left side, and then you're resting both hands in your lap. Close your eyes and notice the effects of alternate nostril breathing. Feel for that calm mind, calm thoughts, soft eyes. Maybe your body feels a little more relaxed. This is a powerful breathing practice that I encourage you to keep in your back pocket for moments that you're, particularly those moments where you feel like your blood pressure is high. So if your doctor is saying, hey, your blood pressure is high, say, hey, could I do 5 rounds of alternate nostril breathing, and then check your blood pressure again. See if you're able to regulate it proactively with this alternate nostril breathing. Okay, so come to your hands and knees, please. And with soft eyes, you can gaze at the floor or gaze at your hands. Knees are hip width distance. Make sure your knees are supported by something nice and soft if you're on the hard surface. And let's start by rounding the spine and exhaling and dropping your head, dropping your tailbone. And then inhaling, lifting the tailbone, lifting your chest. Chin tucks, tailbone tucks. Exhale. Look at baby. Inhale, arch the spine. Exhale, round. Close your eyes if you can and feel for how your pelvis is moving. Maybe visualize the bones, your whole pelvis, in those sits bones that point down through your glutes. They're spreading out as you arch the spine, and they're coming closer together as you round the spine. Your whole pelvis is moving here. Trying to synchronize your breath with your movement and making this a moving meditation. Now come on down to your forearms. Let's send the left foot back and press the ball of the foot into the ground and reach the left heel back. Let's move that block so y'all can see. Really pressing that ball into the ground and reaching the heel back, but without like letting your butt slide back. Let's keep your hips above your knee, and let's draw your shoulder blades out and spread them, and spread your collarbones and reach the crown of your head forward. Press your forearms into the ground. Make this a really active pose from both ends of your body. It's not just happening in your foot. And let's feel for that lovely calf stretch. And perhaps you can feel your quad contracting in the front of your thigh. Perhaps your psoas are getting a little bit of a stretch here, because your psoas is also connected to your low back. It's a muscle that wraps under your quad, under the front of your left hip, and then around to attach to your low back. It's a very, very likely culprit in much back pain that we experience. So we want to be able to both strengthen the quads, contract the quads, and open the psoas, relax the psoas. Now draw your ribs in, kind of spreading your shoulder blades as much as you can and lifting your spine slightly towards the ceiling, tucking your tailbone down slightly, lift that left heel and send your left foot over to the right and look over your right shoulder. Breathe. On your next breath out, slowly bring that left leg over to the left so that you can look over your left shoulder and see your foot. Breathe. Keep pressing into your forearms. Keep that deep core engaged. Even if you have that big heavy belly in the middle, we still want that deep core, your transverse abdominals, which are underneath where baby is. We want them to still be working. Then come back to center and bring the left knee to meet the right. Then spread the knees nice and wide, toes touch. Sink back into child's pose. Let out a sigh as you breathe out. And as you breathe in through your nose, send that breath into your ribs, the backs of your ribs, so that you can feel your back spreading with the inhalation. Back up to those forearms on your inhale, please, and bring your knees under your hips and send the right foot back, pressing the right ball of the foot into the ground this time. Reaching forward with the crown of your head. We're not lifting the chin up. We're keeping the back of the neck long and in parallel with the ground, and reaching that right heel back until you can feel that lovely, juicy, nutritious, stretch in the calf muscle. For a little extra arm work, you could even press your palms together here. With your forearms on the ground, bring your palms together and press them together and feel that, feel your biceps turning on. Don't let the leg become lazy though when you focus your attention on your hands. Feel for your quads switching on. That might mean you need to lift, feel like you're kind of lifting the kneecap or engaging the kneecap to do that. And let's prepare to lift the leg by tucking the ribs, dropping the tailbone slightly, and then lifting the right foot off the ground. And let's swing that right foot over to the left gently, slowly, and look over the left shoulder. Breathe into the side bend that you're creating here in your body. And bringing the right foot over to the left. Now, if your quad, sorry, not your quad, your glute right now, sorry, and you're going over to the right now, looking over the right shoulder. Toes are pointing at the floor. Keep lifting in the ribs, spreading the shoulder blades. Lifting the back, breathing. Back to center, bring the right knee to meet the left, knees spread, toes touch, sink back. Now, if those two movements caused a whole lot more pain in your glutes, then I'm going to hazard a guess that we need to switch on your transverse abdominals a little more, because you're putting too much kind of work into your glutes and it's straining your low back. That's one of my hunches about what might be going on in your glutes if that really hurt. It could also hurt if you have a pubis symphysis and your pubic bone and the front has become a little kind of separated, or it's kind of moved into an asymmetric position. Let out a sigh. Rocking cobra. Up to your hands and knees, rock forward. And what we're doing here really with all of these movements is, one, we're preparing for birth. But two, we're also warming up the spine and warming up your core so that the work we're going to do on our feet is a little more beneficial and also less likely to injure us. So let's warm up that spine. Strengthen the core. We're just switching on the core, and one of those ways that you can switch it on, which I really love, is to, after you inhale completely, you shush, which is, you know, something that you're going to want to learn to do when you have a crying, screaming baby for, 3 hours. You might practice your shh, and that's actually going to engage your transverse abdominals. My gosh, I've got way too much hair these days. I can't even see you. I feel like, look under all my hair. I should probably put it in a ponytail. Shh. And you'll feel your transverse abdominals contracting when you do that shushing sound. And shh, you might feel your diaphragm contracting and lifting as well, which is helpful because it's connected to your deep core muscles. Okay, from hands and knees, so finishing your rocking cobra, let's take our time coming to hands and knees. Pressing into your thighs to come on up with a straight spine. That's a good opportunity to probably tie some hair back. Let's do that. And while I'm doing that, grab yourself a chair or take your device over to be close to a bench top is a good height for this, or the side of your bed might be a good height, or the back of the couch, something that's at least, ideally, at least as tall as your hips, but could also be up as high as your belly kind of thing. So just finding something that you could put all of your weight onto when we go into this pyramid pose, which is my primo pose for glute stuff. So once you've got your chair found, or your bench, or your leaning space, then make sure your feet are parallel, and that's heel toe, the left foot back. Actually, I'm going to move up a little bit more so you can definitely see all of me. And you're going to heel toe it back and just check that kind of it's gone back about like one of your feet lengths behind you. If you've got super long legs, then I'm guessing you have super big feet. That's just a guess. So just think about that being at least 1 foot length for you, perhaps 1.5 feet. So you can see the distance between mine is about 1.5 feet of my foot size. So, and we're keeping our feet in line with our hips. So they're maybe even a little wider than their hips. That left foot is not behind the right foot. So check in with that. And then once you've done that, check in with where your hips are. And for many of us, the hip will have, with the left foot, the left hip will have opened a little to the left because we're probably a little bit tight through the front here. So notice that and just gently guide the left hip to be parallel with the right so that they're both parallel with the surface that's in front of you. And if that really kind of hurts or torques that back knee, maybe you need to turn your toes in slightly in the back. Just allow, I'm more interested in the hips being square than in the foot being in that 45-degree angle position at the back. So hips are square, hands on the hips, and really extend your spine, lifting and spreading your chest, and noticing straight away if your ribs are splaying out, can you tuck them in? Tuck those ribs in and down towards your pelvis. But you're not bringing your pelvis up to meet your hips, your ribs, right? You're keeping your pelvis neutral. Your tailbone is shooting straight down. You're not lifting up the tailbone. The tailbone's down. Okay, so lots of information going on here. Now I want you to think about engaging the left glute. So can you just like give it like a oop, like squeeze that left glute, maybe bringing your hand to the glute to like feel for how that muscle engages. And once that's engaged and you're feeling nice and tall, let's start leaning forward. Maybe your right glute wants to switch on here too, and that might mean you need to lift that right kneecap. Come forward towards the chair. Glutes are engaged. You're continuing to keep the ribs tucked in, leaning forward, forward, forward until that right hamstring screams at you and says, no more, you're stretching me way too far. And once you've gone far enough, then support yourself with your forearms and stay right here. If your hamstrings haven't screamed at you yet in the back of that right leg, you might come down a little bit more. What I don't want is hyperflexibility here, where your ligaments are extra soft and juicy because of the relaxant in your body. So don't push it. Find that edge and then come back from it and use some sort of resistance so that you're pushing against a surface to create that really nice long and straight and strong spine. Lifting and squeezing the glutes, lifting the ribs and tucking them in, and breathing. Both feet are pressing into the ground. Check in with, is that left hip trying to pull back, and can you try and just gently coax it to be in line with the right? It's that work that you do by pressing into that left foot and checking that your weight is distributed evenly between left and right. It's that work and that little kind of toggle that you do here where you're just finding neutral. That is the work that is going to actually help to release the muscles that are causing you pain in your butt. So don't despair if you don't feel like the pose looks perfect right now. We're not aiming for it to look perfect. We're just aiming for you to feel your way around the pose until you think it's as perfect as it can be for your body right now. And that is the work that is going to release those muscles. And I've been chatting away for a while now, so we've been doing the pose for probably long enough. Let's take one more deep breath all the way into the soles of your feet. And exhale through your mouth. And then to come up, bend the right knee gently. Press your hands into the surface in front of you and come up with a straight spine. And then gently bring that left foot to meet your right. Standing in Tadasana for a moment and just feeling. There's not going to be a huge difference between the left and the right side right now. Maybe there is, I don't know, but just feel for what's going on in your body, your interoception. You're going into your body and feeling, how's baby doing right now? Where is baby's position in my body right now? Where is my pelvis right now? Does it feel different? Does it feel odd? What's going on? What's going on? Let's do a forward fold while we're here. So hands coming to the surface in front of you, and walk your feet back. And they can be hip width distance. They can be toes in, heels out. And that we're going to come till we have a flat back and we're creating a right angle with our body. Legs are straight up and down, maybe a gentle bend in the knees if your hamstrings are screaming at you. And pressing your hands into the surface in front of you. And breathing. Lift your tailbone, spread your sits bones. Keep your ears in line with your arms. Smile. And walk your feet back in towards the chair. And this time we'll take the right foot back. The left foot stays in forward, looking for that space that's about 1.5 feet, your foot and a half back. The right toes are out at 45-degree angle, and then feel for where your hips are. Again, if your hip is that right hip is struggling to come forward, then just turn your toes forward a little bit more. And once you feel nice and comfortable in your knees, your feet are grounded, every little piece of your foot is touching the floor. There's no like side of your foot rolling open. We're not doing anything funky in the feet so that the hips can do what they need to do. Just change the position of the foot. Don't roll the ankle or lift toes or anything like that. So hands are on your hips, straight spine, chin is relaxed and tucked. Maybe you need to do a little bit of jaw love, get your tongue out, so we're not creating tension in the body while we're concentrating on this important pose. And with your hands on your hips, switching on that right glute, or maybe bringing your hand to that right butt cheek to give it a little bit of a lift and see if the muscle might respond to it. Maybe poke yourself to feel if the muscle is like hardening up a little bit in there. And then as we begin to lean forward with a straight spine, can you also try and switch on that left glute? Find the space in front of you, the bench or the chair, and keep hinging at the hips and bringing that right hip forward with you, not letting it come on back. Keep that right hip staying square with the left. And once your hamstrings speak to you, you might need to create a little micro bend in the front there, in the left knee. And then leaning onto that surface, creating resistance by pressing your arms into the surface. Lift your tailbone, spreads your sits bones. Engage those glutes. Draw your ribs in, spreading your shoulder blades. Breathe into your feet. Don't let this pose be completely static either. This is a different side, different work to be done. So just continue to feel for where can you move that right hip down and forward slightly. Do you need to press more into your left foot or your right foot? Are you distributing weight evenly? Ask yourself all of those questions and just work your way through your body until you feel as though you have kind of found your perfect version of this pose for now, for today. And don't settle. Don't settle for the first thing that feels comfortable. Maybe there is a little bit more you can do. Maybe you should press into that right foot and almost feel like you're trying to slip it away. We're obviously not going to. We're on a surface that's sticky enough that it's not going to. But just by drawing your legs apart, you might feel some more stuff going on in the glutes. Relax your tongue, relax your eyebrows. Breathe into your whole body. Feel your whole body all the way down to your feet, expanding with each breath in. If you're feeling impatient at this point, which many of us would be, I would be, then can you just remind yourself to stay with your breath and stay with the moment and just accept that this moment could go on for another 3 hours, or we could be done in 3 more seconds. We don't know. But our job here is to practice patience, resilience, and breath. Just breathing. Concentrate on your breath. That's the only thing you can really control right now. Well, you could come out of the pose if you really wanted to, but this is us practicing for labor, practicing for motherhood. But I guess we can come out now. So bend that left front knee, press into the chair or the table and press yourself up, heel toe, left foot, right foot to meet left, standing up nice and straight into Tadasana, palms are open. Just feeling your life force, feeling any change in your body. Does your glute feel any different? Let's sway a little side to side. You need to widen your stance to do that. Sway a little. Let's walk a little. So take a step, place your whole foot on the ground. Step, whole foot on the ground. Let's just walk around your mat for a moment to check in with, does your glute feel any better? Does it feel stronger? Does your core feel stronger? What's changed? What's different? Patiently doing that, walking around, walking around. Coming back to your mat. And if you feel like, okay, glutes are still really bloody hurting, which is very common. When mine go out, when my sacrum goes out of alignment, they often take about 2 rounds of what we just did before they start to feel better. But in the interest of time, I'm not going to do a second round. So what you could do is just pause me for a minute, do another round on each side for 5 breaths, and then play again and join us in the next phase. And keep in mind that the next phase of class will continue to help reset and set everything into place so that as you go on through your day, it's not going to come back again. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. You're going to pause, and everyone else, you come along with me. So next we're going to heel toe the feet out a little bit wider than hips, not too wide, and we're going to kind of squat down, hands on your thighs, and we're going to round the spine, kind of doing a standing cat-cow, dropping and tucking the tailbone and your chin to your chest, and then lifting the tailbone, spreading your collarbones and arching the spine, and then rounding, and then spreading. Exhale, shh. Inhale. Exhale, shh. Inhale. And then straightening those legs. Maybe heel toe them in under your hips a little closer, and then pressing yourself up to standing. Grab hold of a block, please. And let's squeeze that block between your legs. If they don't have a block handy, then a cushion will do, or a tissue box, or an ammunition box, which one of our mamas used once, and squeezing it between your legs. Your feet are parallel. Look for the outside edge of your feet being parallel as opposed to the inside edge of your feet being parallel. That's what Iyengar tells us to do, what one of my teachers taught me. And then we're going to send the butt back slightly as if you're about to sit in a chair. And hey, you know what? If you have a chair, why not just have it nearby so that you can kind of pretend that you're about to sit in it? That same posture as if you're about to sit in it. And then that way, if you get too low and you feel like you're going to fall, you can scooch back, fall back into the chair. But so sitting down as low as you can, sending butt back, tucking ribs in, spreading and opening your heart center, hands at your heart, squeeze the block. Squeeze the block. No, actually squeeze it. Squeeze it with those inner thighs. And then release a little bit without dropping the block. And then squeeze the block. Inhale, release without dropping. Shh, squeeze, shh. Release, inhale. Squeeze, shh. Inhale, release. One more time, squeeze, shh. Hold it, breathe. 3 breaths. Take hold of that block, take it out, straighten your legs, standing up. How do you feel? Hold the block between your hand, bring it out in front of you like you're holding it, you're squeezing it with the palms of your hands. Your inner arms feel like they're kind of squeezing together as well. And then sit back down in your chair. Bum goes back, knees are directly above your ankles so that the shins are actually perpendicular to the ground. They're not kind of coming forward. So it's the butt that we're aiming for the thighs to be parallel with the ground, right? That's the goal here. But keep squeezing the block in front of you. Lift up the block a little if you can. Gazing at the floor, or keeping your face facing the floor, but you can lift your eyes like you're rolling your eyes to the top to look at your eyebrows or look at the roof. Relax your jaw, squeeze the block. 2 more deep breaths. And straighten the legs. Come on up with the block above your head. Yeah, yes we are. And if that really, really feels uncomfortable to you, just keep it out in front of you or as high as feels good. But otherwise, bring it above your head, squeezing. Feel the backs of your heels grounding into the floor. In fact, you might feel more weight in your balls of your feet right now. Can you feel for more weight into your heels without tipping back, obviously? In fact, if you have a wall nearby, go stand against that wall so that you do have a surface behind you if you feel like you're going to lose your balance, so that you can put more weight into your heels. 2 more breaths. Float those arms back down in front of you. Release the block. Picking up the baby pose. And then we're done, mama. Heel toe those feet out nice and wide, toes out. Knees bend towards the toes, reach down, draw up. Noticing your strong core. Noticing your open upper body, your light upper body. Your strong glutes. Both of your glutes are working, right? We're not making sure that we're not favoring one side and using one leg more than the other. All of us have one side stronger than the other. It's just the way that we're built. So let's make sure we're distributing weight evenly so that we can try and keep that weaker side, that less active side, engaged, so that it doesn't become too weak. And then we get way out of balance and we walk around like, you know, the Hunchback of Notre Dame when we're 70. If you are in your 3rd trimester, you know that you've got 30 of these to do today, every day, and you've got 10 if you're in the 1st and 2nd trimester. We'll do a gentle spinal twist on our next squat down into goddess pose. Hands come to the thighs and looking over to the left as you drop the right shoulder. Keeping the spine long. And then dropping the left shoulder as you look to the right. One more on each side. Coming back to goddess, hands together at your heart. Feel the burn. Work those legs, pressing the feet into the ground so that you're lifting up, but you're still continuing to squat down. Smile, release your jaw. Just smiling, even if you don't feel like it, will help to release muscles in your face. Three more deep breaths here, mama. Breathing into your belly. Breathing into your feet. Breathing into your heart. Straighten those legs. Heel toe the feet back together under your hips. Hands out and up and back down to your heart. Inhale out and up. Down to your heart. And then down to the floor, please. We're going to set up for a Supta Baddha Konasana as our resting pose today. So I'll show you how to get set up for that. Grab a bunch of pillows, your block. It's great to do it against a wall because that'll help create a 45-degree angle with the cushions. So here's how I'm going to do it today. I'm going to grab my meditation cushion. I'm going to put one of my blocks on top of that, and then I'm going to create this nice, firm 45-degree angle. And then I'm going to use a cushion and a block either side of me because my knees are going to open to the sides and I want them to rest on something.
So once you've got your situation set up, one thing that I want to remind you to do is come down onto that cushion via your side. Do not just lean back. As easy as that would be, that's one of those things that can exacerbate the rectus abdominal diastasis, so that separation of the abs where your belly kind of flops out and you look like you're pregnant for 12, for the rest of your life, for many people. So come down on your side and then rolling over onto your back. Soles of the feet come together and then opening the knees to the side and then supporting your knees with cushions and or blocks so that you can actually truly relax in your groin area without feeling. We want to feel a little tiny bit of stretch in the groin, but we don't want it to feel like, it's being pulled on, because then you're not going to really be able to relax, right? We want to feel it nice and supported. So bring those cushions in as close as they need to be in order to let your groin feel open, but not like it's pulling in that being pulled out, because that's not what we're aiming for. We're not aiming for a stretch of the groin. We're aiming for the shape of the posture, the Supta Baddha Konasana, or as many people like to call it, queen pose. You've set yourself up in your throne, in your nest, and now you're reclining and being a queen. You could even imagine someone feeding you grapes if you like. Once you're there, you can let your palms be open to the ceiling above you. Let the backs of your hands rest on the floor. If that doesn't feel comfortable, maybe bringing your hands to your belly, to your baby. Close your eyes. Be present. We had a kind of a busy, complicated-ish class. And so I want you to forget about it. Forget about what you just did and just be present in the feelings that you feel in your body right now. Not necessarily the feelings in your heart or your head, the feelings in your body, the sensations in your legs, in your quads, in your glutes. Check in with that discomfort that you might have felt and identified at the beginning of class. Send some breath and light to it and notice if it has changed. Keep scanning your body, feeling all of those muscles, the fascia that wraps around your muscles and holds us together like a cellophane, glad wrap, cello wrap. How does your skin feel? Notice the sensations on your skin right now. Is there a cool breeze? Is there warm air? Is there carpet? What does the cushion feel like touching your skin? How does the back of your head feel? Is it supported? Is it heavy, or are you holding it up? Is your neck still working? Is your jaw clenched? Can you let your lower jaw just hang? Let your tongue be soft. And take your attention to your baby. This beautiful, perfect human that has graced us with its presence. It's a sentient being. It feels what you feel. It dreams with you. They love you so much. Now, I have a theory that when they're in utero like this, they can still remember all of the amazing things about how the universe works and
why they chose you as their mother, who they are. They know all of it. They're wiser than we are. Because when we're born, we forget it all. As we get older, we forget more and more, and we get so busy with the things in front of us. And we forget, we just forget. We forget the why. But right now, this little human, this incredible sentient being, this little alien, most of us, it probably still looks like an alien, hey? They're there, and they are so conscious and so with you. Perhaps you want to ask them now, or perhaps before you go to bed tonight, any questions that are on your mind. And I'm betting that you'll get an answer. Maybe not in the way you expect. I mean, for some women, they literally hear a voice in their head that answers the question. I'm amazed at that. I've heard it. I've had the voice in my head during a dream. I've interacted with my babies during dreams. But right here in this relaxed state, you might even get to converse or commune with your little human. Sometimes it'll show up in your body as just like a knowing. You can ask them the question and you just know the answer. You know it. You don't need proof. You don't need words. You just know. I'd like you to stay here in Supta Baddha Konasana, or you can roll onto your side into flapping fish for a few more minutes. Me, I'm going to go and teach some power mama yoga now. So got you guys all gooey and soft and relaxed, and hopefully I'll see you again really soon. And then, you know, when you're ready, you'll come and do these power mama classes with me. But I'll be getting the music going. I'll be going crazy. Anyway, that's what I'm doing next. So I'm going to leave you be. Please stay in that position for just a couple more minutes. And maybe if you fall asleep, that is totally fine with me. You are loved.